Good afternoon, on what is a warm, bright and sunny day. It is Sunday, the 5th of May, and I'm in the reading up a nice hot cup of tea. And really I'm going to do another reading roundup just to show you the sort of things that I have been reading in the past couple of weeks and what I'm going to be reading next. And the most immediate things that I have been reading are these, which is a selection of fanzines. Now, when it comes to every sort of bank holiday or so here in the United Kingdom, I will do a little run of fanzines, focusing on what are essentially amateur productions that support people's favourite games. So, for example, and I mean Lowcountry Crawl, which is a Southern Gothic romance, which works with all retro clones. Sadly, the only issue, but it's really nice and atmospheric. Itself in and of itself, it does not have any historical issues with it because it has a sensitivity reader. But in general, the period does, because it's really looking at the Southern Gothic of the early 19th century and America's southeast coast with its barrier islands, and it's really great. But I appreciate the potential difficulty you would have with presenting extra content for this. Sadly, the only issue. Then the Lost Arnesonian Classes, Old School Essentials. This is for essentially the really popular retro clone, and it presents 4 classes, 2 Arnesonian, i.e. 2 inspired by the creations of the co-creator of Dungeons and Dragons, Dave Arneson. So you have the Merchant and where is it? Nope. And the Sage, and then you've got sort of like the other two ridiculous, basically, our new Beast Folk classes, and they are Chimpanzee Folk and Duck Folk, and it's kind of an odd mix. The more interesting classes are the Arnesonian ones, i.e. the Mage and the Merchant, but it's in general sort of like the game master's going to have to adjust the setting to allow for more trade by the Merchant, and then more impact and effect of information on the campaign from the Sage, because otherwise they don't really kind of work on their own. Tales of the Smoking Wyrm. This is let's have a look. I can't remember who this is by. This is anyway. This is a fanzine for Dungeon Crawl Classics and Mutant Crawl Classics. Less Mutant Crawl Classics than Dungeon Crawl Classics. And really nicely done. Quite nice production values. And it's a mix of kind of stuff that doesn't have a kind of an immediate effect upon your game. You would have to work in like the rites and rituals, which is or let's have a look. The Culpepper's Herbal, sort of like just quite detailed descriptions of herbs and so on. And you've got a description of the sort of like the Shoggoth in your game. So that's quite nice. If you're a fan of Dungeon Crawl Classics, that's worth looking at. And then a couple of older fanzines. An older fanzine which I've had to dig out because I've forgotten that I haven't reviewed it. And these are for Mert Bourge, but the one I was looking at is Strange Visitors to the City from Philip Reed. Nice selection of weird and wonderful NPCs that could visit a city at obviously Galgenbach in the city of in the setting of Mert Bourge, but it could be other things as well. That's my favourite, 2 basically fishmen, and it comes with some unusual places described, basically 1 paragraph dedicated to those, and rumours and hired goons. You basically develop those into proper NPCs and so on. And in some ways, obviously it's really quite a big of a companion piece to Strange Citizens of the Galaxy, Strange Citizens of the City, and sort of Strange Inhabitants of the Forest, but primarily those two really go together. So there, so I've just reviewed those fanzines for the weekend. I've not finished writing reviews of fanzines yet. Got some more to do. But the book things I've been looking at the last couple of weeks would include the Lost Mountain Saga, which is a big sort of, well, I say big. It's either a very big campaign, a very big scenario, or quite a small campaign for Vaesen Nordic horror role playing from Free League Publishing. Really lovely looking book. Just the artwork is terrific. I mean, that's as you would expect for a Vaesen book, but this gives you a complete campaign to play it over the course of a year. It's okay. It's not bad. I think that, you know, this is sort of like a good starter campaign. I don't think it's the best campaign they could have done, though, personally speaking. Sist Delux, science fiction role-playing game. This is based off the Traveller 2d6 dice mechanics. And it really gives you everything you need to just play science fiction games. And the thing is, playing them sort of like without the setting of the Third Imperium. And I like the setting of the Third Imperium, in particular for Traveller. But if you came up with a decent setting, so on, I would play Cepheus happily. It's a bit slightly pulpy, I suppose, in a sense, because you now get traits for being really good at particular skills, and you can have cyberware as well, and those are the occupations you can have, because you basically create a character, and they have a career, and then they go adventuring. So there's the traits there, things like hacker and animal affinity or sleight of hand, sniper, easy rider for your vehicles, that sort of thing. And you've got rules in there for spaceships and building spaceships and creating worlds and encounters and so on. And at the end, some quite lovely sort of like floor plans or deck plans for your spaceship. But the problem is they're really tiny. So yeah, quite enjoyed that. And the big thing I did review was Planescape, which is the 1994 release from TSR. Big setting, takes in the whole of the multiverse. Really recognisable by its artwork and the Exocet typeface there, which essentially swapped out the letter T with a cross. As you can see, not here, but it is on there. But that's a setting for Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition. More recently, Wizards of the Coast actually did a book dedicated to it. But there's lots. If you can track down the expansions for this, or you can get them print on demand, which is great. This is a really good setting, but you absolutely want more material once you've got it, because it's got this nice thing of the setting. It has a city of Sigil, has a good feel of Dickensian squalor, but then you set that against the wonders and splendour of the known universe, which you can access from the city and from the outlands surrounding the city. And the city itself is a torus, which sort of spins atop a spire mountain. That's actually amazing. So yeah, really good. And so that's what I've actually been reading. What I'm going to be looking at next, in the next sort of like week or so, continuing the fanzine theme, as I'm going to review Keep It Together, an Adventure fanzine for Mausritter. Mausritter is the old school Renaissance style role playing game in which you play mice in a world like we have, but they're sort of like real sized mice, but they're anthropomorphic, and it's quite a tough little game. I'll show you that. And then what they carry, you cut these tokens out and you use those, append those to your character sheet, and that's how much you can carry. What else am I planning to look at? I'm going to look at Forgotten Duty, which is a scenario for Cthulhu Hack 2nd edition. I've got a systemless fantasy scenario from Lunar Shadow Designs. This is from Just Crunch Games, and it uses maps drawn by Dyson Logos, who does free-to-use maps, which you can just use as long as you attribute him. He's a really good cartographer. I want to look at, and all of this is really a push to support the industry, especially in the run-up to UK Games Expo, which comes at the end of this month, 31st of May. Really looking forward to it. Got some because I've got a couple of friends staying over. We're going to go to the convention, have fun, meet people, catch up with people we don't normally see apart from at different conventions, including other publishers. This is a quick start rules for Death Valley, horror role-playing game using Year Zero. And this is the quick start for it. I always like a good quick start because the quick start is designed to introduce you to a game, give you a good feel of what it's like to play. What else? Now, I've looked at several supplements for Heart, The City Beneath, which is a fantastic narrative, storytelling, dungeoneering game, unlike anything you have seen before. So, yeah, I mean, I've looked at Vermisian Black Ops and Sanctum, but the one I'm going to look at next is Burned and Broken. Really like these supplements. They basically look at how to play the game in different fashion. You know, it's hard. City Beneath is unlike any kind of dungeoneering game you can ever imagine. So I was really glad to pick those up, and I've really enjoyed reviewing those. So I'm looking forward to giving this last one a review. Hopefully, might pick up some more because I really have enjoyed giving the game the coverage it deserves. And then, I mean, this is what I'm planning to review for next week. So it's quite a lot of little things, but the big things include this, which is the latest release, and essentially the only release so far in terms of support for Doctor Who, the role-playing game 2nd edition. Now, I've already done a review and an unboxing of both of these, but the review, I'm being a bit clever with my timing, as it were. The first book I reviewed with when you had the first appearance and first full story of the 14th Doctor, David Tennant, coming back, and so I'm going to do this for the first full appearance, basically say the first full story in the new series for the 15th a Doctor played by Shuti Gatwa. Looking forward to seeing that, even if I don't like his costume. Too much orange, not enough waistcoats. But this is a source book for each of those Doctors for the new Who. So this is showing you all the Doctors that it gives you an introduction to each of those and an adventure in each of their styles, and that covers up to the first 8 Doctors, and then after this we have the 9th Doctor and beyond, all the way up to all the way up to the 14th Doctor, and including the fugitive Doctor, who played by Jo Martin, who I think absolutely should get stories of her own. So you know, this is going to give you background on each of those Doctors, and an associated adventure, stats for the individual companions and Doctors and equipment and so on. So that's Rose Tyler, and let's flip further forward. So we go to the 10th Doctor, and we've got stats for his companions. So Mickey Smith, Martha Jones, Wilfred Mott, and then her granddaughter Donna Noble, who I absolutely adore as a companion. I think she's terrific, and not just because I managed to get to roleplay her in a Doctor Who game. That was a lot of fun because you can really sort of like let rip with what the hell is this, what the hell is going on, because Donna is just an ordinary person, so she does need the explanation. And then lastly, the thing I'm going to look at, the playing to review, which I have started reading on when I went away on my trip, because just my last weekend I went to Dice on the Borderlands, which is a little role-playing convention, happened for the first time, but took place in Chepstow Castle, in Chepstow, just across the border in Wales. That was terrific. So I started reading this on the way down on the train and the way back. This is Shadowrun Sixth World. This is the 6th edition of the role-playing game. And I'm going to be reading and reviewing this because Catalyst Labs are going to be at UK Games Expo. Now, UK Games Expo is the biggest role-playing and gaming convention in this country, in the UK. But the thing is, we don't always get the American companies over that you'll find, at Gen Con, because Gen Con is the biggest role-playing game convention in the world. So they don't always come across, and we don't always get to meet them. Because essentially it's a big, big project, a big task to bring everyone over, and bring people over, bring all the books over, set everything up in a foreign country. Games Expo has had publishers over from the States. Really the first one to come over, the first big foreign one would have been for role-playing, would have been Free League Publishing, and they're back every year. They're present, and that's great, and they're really nice guys. It's always good to see them. More recently, Monty Cook Games joined them, but they've got an English arm, overseen by the fantastic Kate Smith, who is utterly adorable and lovely. And before that, it was Magpie Games, and that was great. Nice to meet them. And this year it is Catalyst Game Labs, whom I've never spoken to. I've never had any interaction with. I've reviewed a little bit pieces of their stuff, not many, partly because of time, partly because I've sort of like this is a thick book. I've got another thick book I've got to read. But this is just to sort of say I want to highlight the fact that they're here, introduce who I am, and so on. And it's a bit of work for me. I mean, the role-playing convention is work because I'm dealing with companies, interacting with them, explaining who I am and what I do and how I review the books. So yeah, that's how it works. So yeah, I am planning to look at that. The other thing I want to try and get out and do a review is the BattleTech box set, but I don't think I'm going to get that done this month. I might get it done in the next few weeks before I get a Gen Con, so I can say I did this. But I'm enjoying reading this because Shadowrun is a science fiction setting set, well, it's basically now in 2080, having moved on from the 2040s of the original book, which came out in sort of 1989. And it's a mixture of science fiction and cyberpunk and fantasy. So you have orcs and elves and dwarves and trolls running around with humans in Seattle or wherever, fitted with cyberware, using magic and so on, facing off against dragons if they dare, and so on. So it's a very different kind of feeling setting because of that melange of influences and elements. And consequently, it is its own thing, and what it does have is a terrific background, hugely detailed background, lots of flavour, lots of detail that you can really dig into, and it's one of those game worlds which that people really love the lore for. I mean, people do like the lore for sort of like the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, Warhammer Fantasy Battle and so on, Warhammer 40,000 and so on. But again, you've got worlds like that, like the Forgotten Realms, like Traveller, like Greyhawk, which have deep lore, and they're all really mostly interesting. Not everyone's going to like every one of them, but they're things to dig into and sort of like explore, and also sort of like connect your characters to, and basically tie your character and what you're playing into the setting. So yeah, I've got to finish reading that and all those books this week. It's only Sunday, got time to get to the end of the week and sort of start writing those reviews. So anyway, thanks for watching another basically reading roundup. If you have, I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you've got, I appreciate if you want to take the time to comment and post. I do read those. And of course, if you want to be able to see more unboxings of the Nook, where you'll see me out here, typically with a box containing a book or game, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do click on the subscribe button, which is down below. Again, thanks for reading another reading roundup. I'll be back again with another one of these in a couple of weeks or so. But in the meantime, do come back for more unboxings, more appearing tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.